the name that we actually go by, whereas our legal trading name is Kinetic Performance Technology, which is a bit of a mouthful. And actually the interesting thing is, Anna, that our community dictated what our company name was in the end. So it was really apparent in the first couple of years when we were exporting that everyone just referred to us by our lead product name. We were Jimoy, that's what everyone referred to us. No one knew us as Kinetic Performance, which is the company that we had that did a range of performance solutions for elite athletes. So I guess our product measures the speed of the barbell in a weights room. Sounds a simple solution. Our customers range from elite sport all the way down to, someone working out in their garage gym. We've been around over 20 years now, and we've been exporting for more than 10 years now.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So what role do you think community has actually played in terms of marketing and the growth of your business, Heather?
Yeah, so I jotted down a few notes earlier, and I guess community is our customers, but greater than that, it's also our manufacturers. And I think really when you're considering community, you also need to look at your competitors. So for us, our definition of community is more about this is the space that we play in and who hangs out there. So when you start listening to your community, it really helps inform some of the choices you make as to what you do with your product. So for us, rather than creating a product and pushing it on a market, I guess initially with exporting, we considered who was in the space that we were interested in and then listened to their problems and then tweaked and defined our product around that before actually really taking that big step and entering the market there. So community has definitely also changed for us. Like now our community, we talk about community, we're thinking about our social media presence, whereas 5 years ago our community was much more a physical, probably pre-COVID. It was us on the floor at trade shows, product in hand. And then even stepping back another 5 from that, I think our community was much more centered around researchers. So universities, people in the field researching strength and conditioning. So the community, I guess I haven't really narrowed it down, but I think that whatever definition you choose to look at it as, it really helps grow those strong relationships. And it can create that real genuine brand sort of advocacy, which then enhances your reputation. And you can also, it's a two-way street. You're always getting feedback from the community, which then gives you insights. So then you refine your product. So then you put it back into the community. So it sort of grows and changes along the way.
So Julie and Heather, you're in quite different markets.
Mm-hmm.
What is the hook? So how do you get someone to engage with you and become part of the community? So obviously they're looking for different things, but you decide what the key hook is to get them to become part of that community.
Yeah, do you mean like what's the sticky part of the community? Yeah, I think for us, sorry, Julie, if I'm totally cutting in, but it's, I think it's having that feedback between you and the customer, and that being just really just strong and being really, proactive in getting back to people if they've got questions or help. And then also, I guess for us, because we engage with our community and we provide free educational content, so we sort of are trying to give back. You tend to engage people who are, they want to be seen as early adopters of things, and they want to be seen as the one that's using the tech. Then you develop that relationship close with that person because they've got a bigger noise and a bigger platform, and they're not advice, like it's not a hard sell coming from a company. You're actually, it's like, what do they call it? UGC, you know, it's genuine content that these people are making, and that's where you put your energy into developing that relationship. But I always think like people who are, you just want people whose eyes light up when they start talking about the subject. You know, yeah, they're the ones that you work with. Yeah.
So it's a little bit different for you, Julie. So what do you think? How's it work for you?
Yeah, it's just interesting. It works pretty much the same way. We've got two lots of customers. So our stall holders are our members are our customers, and the people who shop with them are our customers. So we've got to make sure we're listening to both groups.
Yeah.
And again, it's so much easier these days than it was 15 years ago. You know, already we've been able to, at the market, customers are always happy to tell us what they think, what they like, what they don't like, what might be made easier. So that's great. But also the stall holders, you know, you've got closed Facebook groups. So, you know, there's been massive discussions on there in the last few days about what works, what doesn't work, but it's just listening. And then, like Heather said, you know, actively getting back to these people, and they're just amazed that you're listening to them. And then if you actually act on that as well, then it just blows their mind. But it's amazing how many people don't. Like they just don't. They don't reply to emails. They don't reply in a timely manner. The fact, you know, we have everybody register with us before they can even apply for a market, and I pick up the phone and I call every single one of them. And just, you know, as soon as you say who you are and why you're calling, they're like, oh wow, that's crazy. Like it's just those little things, but just being able to talk to a brand or have contact with them, or even know that you're listening, whether you can help them or not with what it is they're talking about, that just goes, it just goes such a long way.
Yeah.
It's really simple.
Can I add a comment on that? Because I think that's a really good point. If, you know, we live in these really isolated kind of silos sometimes when we're businesses, and just talking to someone, you know, people just want to feel that actually there's a human behind the product, or behind the Instagram picture, or behind, you know, that stuff. And that I think does lots to show that you're committed to your brand. You're passionate about what you do. You've got time for your customers. You're not just there to make a dollar, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
absolutely. I agree.
You've both mentioned listening as such an important thing, and you both hinted at the fact that